horses died with me. When I was a child, I'd sit for hours.
Hey folks, Craig DeMonte here. Thanks for listening to the Walking Dead TV podcast. This is the second part, or the episode 195B of our discussion on the season finale of The Walking Dead. So if you haven't listened to the first part of our discussion, that's episode 195A. Please go ahead and do that now. And we broke it up because we had a very lengthy show. It was almost 3 hours long. Had to break it up into 2 chunks to make it easier to digest on your various podcast listening devices out there. And of course, we had a lot of Buster ratings at the end too, which is great. So the episode got very, very, very long, and we just wanted to break it up into 2 easily digestible parts for all of you. So once again, thanks so much for listening. Look forward to joining you all again in the summer for Fear the Walking Dead. So without further ado, here is the second part of our discussion on the season finale of The Walking Dead. Thanks, folks. Take care. So once he closes the coffin, we see Sasha turn on the iPod. That's where we realize where that light's coming from underneath her during all these flashback scenes we've been seeing. And she then pulls out the poison pill and takes it and drinks the water. So we always see that. That's it. It's really just a matter of time before she goes. Flash forward to Negan opening the coffin, and zombie Sasha appears and goes right after Negan. And he says, "Holy goddamn!" And she knocks him clear off the truck onto the ground. Yeah. That distraction. This is, I think, where This is where Carl. Right. This is where we had a problem. Yes. This distraction is enough for Carl to shoot a few of the junkyard people. Two. Right. And Daryl and gang start doing the same. They all just Carl starts it and they all jump in. Of course, it's Carl. Yeah. Rick is still pinned to the top of the gate with a gun to his head. Jadis is holding on him, and Michonne and Creepy Girl begin their death match.
Good zombie work on Sasha, by the way. They tried to do good by the cast members. It was a creepy zombie.
Good. Yeah. And the shot of her reveal was really nice, like right at the camera. That was a really great shot.
It's not great in freeze frame because there's one picture that I could have used in my review. It's like, no, that looked pretty terrible. But as far as
it actually looked all right.
She goes on school.
Everybody is fighting each other, and then Rick and Jadis just kind of standing there. Jadis kind of holding the gun on him.
Pretty much, he can't move.
Staring at him, I know, but just standing there, like I don't know, expecting something to happen.
It almost felt like a Return of the Jedi like thing where she's making him watch the fight. He can't get in it. Like he keeps looking back at her and trying to, wanting to get in, and then she's like, no.
That photo was pretty bad. You just said it to all of us. That's pretty bad.
Say what?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So the Alexandrians are fighting bravely. They really just continue shooting at this point. Rosita is shot, not gravely, and Tara kind of carries her off. Sasha still has Negan pinned on the ground, and he says, "No, honey, no, God damn it!" When suddenly Vegetable Guy grabs her off of Negan, but it was a bad move because Zombie Sasha ended up biting half of his face off. She just tore him up.
Did you notice all throughout the rest of these scenes, every henchman that helps Negan gets killed?
Yeah. Yep. Except for Simon.
Simon, him make it off, right? Yeah.
So I will say though that Jeffrey Dean Morgan's delivery of when he's truly surprised and caught off guard, it's like priceless. Just the way he just has that panicked, like frantic, voice that he's backing up. And it happens again. We'll get to it in a minute, but it's spot on. Like I don't know how he does it.
This might be my favorite Negan episode so far, just because you get Jeffrey Dean Morgan, with the quiet, intense moments with him and Sasha. You get the big broad Negan standing in front of the gates of Alexandria, and then you get like Russ said this, like holy shit, Negan. Like,
yes. Yeah, you get the yeah, I agree with you, Jim. I think it is a very it's the as much as I object to the character for various reasons, this is the preferred version I like, where the bravado is there, but it seems appropriate. The show's not making you wait out seeing some, it's not making you wait for horrific violence to happen. You know it's gonna happen or it's not gonna happen, but what you're getting presented with is a way where it handles it much better than just like sitting in wait of like, yep, this is going to eventually happen. You're gonna have to sit with it. Like it just works way better as far as everything he's doing for it.
So Negan and Simon regroup, and Negan declares, "Plan B it is." Jadis is still holding down on Rick at this point, and she orders him down now. He tries to say, "We can make another deal." Doesn't want to hear it, and shoots him on his left side like a flesh wound, pretty much right through like his left kidney almost, but it's just like a flesh wound, whatever. Rick goes down to the floor, and then she kicks him off the ledge. Right. And she says, "I said down." She did the same thing almost with the junkyard when she pushed him into the pit, right? With that, yeah, it's like she doesn't even care, just throws him around. After commercial, we see Daryl's kicking ass, just mowing down people with his rifle.
Carl is looking rifle, by the way.
Yeah. Crazy little like barrel on it or something.
Clone Wars or something.
What GoldenEye gun is this?
Straight out of Call of Duty stuff right there.
Yeah. Carl's doing the same thing, just mowing people down. Michonne, though, is getting literally her ass beaten pretty bad.
Yeah,
She's
thinking of this episode. I can't what's happening here? Michonne, 3 weeks ago, whatever, was like knocking out zombies, no problem, killing everybody because she's a badass. This week it's like one little white girl's like causing her all kinds of problems.
No, I didn't get that either.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, if she had hit her in the head from behind, maybe she'd have a little bit of difficulty. But
even match like that,
it seems just weird.
And they even had that scene beforehand where she's like, kind of fishy. She's acting kind of fishy, and Michonne knows to like be on her guard around her.
Michonne doesn't drop her guard. She didn't drop her guard. Like just the scent of the governor set her off. So she's not like standing right next to this person.
Like you would think when she saw the garbage people turn on them that she would check out.
She turned around to do something, but she was already being held down with the gun with the other girl. The other girl already had the gun to her head.
Yeah, no, the reveal of the garbage people's turn, she had to get because they're at a distance away and everything. She's kind of slowly realizing what's happening through the scope.
Right.
Still, the realization of this, this is a much better way to be on guard than just be like, all right, now I'm being beaten up by this person. Whatever. Like it's just
Yeah. But eventually, the junkyard people get Rick and Carl held hostage, and
I'm sorry, I just because I wrote bad edit here because it's a really bad. I was not a fan of this choreography.
Because it looked like they were winning. It looked like the Alexandrian people were winning, right?
Yeah, it wasn't clear who was who too. Like the saviors and the junkyard people weren't easily defined from one another.
Yeah,
and then especially when the cavalry rushes in later, it's even worse. Because you can't. It's not like you said, Aaron. It's bad choreography and bad. It's just not even bad choreography, but like
shot composition,
bad shot and bad blocking and bad blocking too.
Because you're seeing everybody like on the Alexandrian side. They seem like you just said, right? They seem to be in the fight, and then just cuts to Jadis holding up like Rick
and Carl, and Negan's right there on the grass. Like, how did he get in town? He was outside 2 seconds ago. Now he's inside. Yeah.
Well, I feel like we missed something.
It's just weird.
Yeah, I feel like we missed a scene or two.
But at least we got 6 Sasha flashbacks. So okay.
Yeah, right.
So the action scenes are cut on the floor, but right, we have those Sasha flashbacks.
It feels like an uneven edit.
So Simon and Dwight are on the grass, and then of course, like I said, Negan's there as well. Negan and Jadis chat a bit. Jadis tells him that the deal was for 12. Negan protests, saying that people are a resource, and counters his offer with 10. They stare it out a bit, but much like how she negotiated with Rick earlier on, she relents and settles on 10. So I'm going to pause here for 1 second. Does Jadis need 10 people? Like, is that what she wants? She wants 10 saviors in her junkyard? I don't understand.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Like, she had 150 people.
Well, you know what they've been eating.
I think she gets the Alexandrians. I think that's the deal they're figuring out there. I don't know for what purpose, but I think it's to take them into their.
Oh, okay. I totally didn't pick up on that.
Like they need another junkyard monster to put for their gladiator battle, so that's one right there.
I thought they were talking about houses.
No, because Negan said people are a resource. He used that line, so it's like, okay, they're talking about manpower or people, but who's people and why do they need them? They have 150 people, at least they did before they started this battle. Now she's probably down about 20.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand what they were negotiating for. What was the big deal?
Well, in the Jadis episode next week, we'll figure that. Or next season, we'll see what's going on.
So then Negan gets down to business. He gets down to his speechifying. He tells Rick how sad he's about to be, and this is getting reminiscent of, I guess, 16 episodes ago when they were on their knees just like this, and how he's going to wish he was dead. He then says, he likes having fun like any other guy, but maybe Rick forgot how serious Negan can be. Negan says that perhaps it's his fault, and he has to start all over again, and that if he had a kid, he'd want him to be just like Carl, just like his kid. Carl then jumps in saying, Negan's not going to win, you're not going to win. And Negan tells Carl to point his one ball up the street and see what they've won already. Take it all in, he says, because they're obviously, they took the town in that crazy edit we didn't see. We keep cutting back and forth at this point to Michonne's death match with Creepy Girl, and she's losing bad. Then suddenly we hear a screech, and Rick looks back, and we see a woman fall from that ledge that they were fighting on, which is just down the street. Rick thinks it was Michonne from the look on his face.
How? Like, why would you?
But had that look though.
But it's like, why would you have that? Why would you be concerned about Michonne of all people? Like, she's the one that would die.
It's so far away, you would not even know it would be her. Like any of the townspeople.
His assumption that it's Michonne that dies makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, he did know that she was up there, but still, it made no sense.
You can't tell that the sound came from that.
Right.
That area. Yeah.
Not to mention, that's not how Michonne screams. Come on.
No,
not at all. She don't scream.
Right. She just goes, I'm a badass.
I like a lot of what's going on. I like as far as the performances go. I think it's really good as far as raising the tension, what have you. But I never stopped thinking, well, so who's going to save them? Because clearly Michonne can't die, or is it going to be the Hilltoppers, who I know are probably on their way, or the Kingdom. It's like, so I'm less concerned with like, is Carl going to die? Because Carl's not going to die. Come on, guys. So I'm more thinking, is it? Which of these people's going to like save them? So I'm thinking, well, clearly Michonne has to like shoot because she didn't die. That'd be ridiculous. Like, so it's just, I was having a tough time really gathering the strength to believe in the idea that Michonne could possibly have died in a situation with Rick like sitting there like, oh, the toughest person I've ever known in my life just fell off a building. That's not a thing I can recognize.
What's interesting too is from this moment on where we're at in the episode to the end is the level of intensity that I expected this entire episode to have. Because from this moment forward, I thought it was perfect.
So Negan leans in. He pretends to be sorry. That he goes, oh, you just lost someone really important to you, didn't you? He then says that Rick chose this, and that it's now time for punishment. He says he's now going to kill Carl. He's going to do it with one swing. Let's not make him suffer. One good hard swing. And that Lucille is then going to take Rick's hands. Rick then says, and I quoted this, and you guys were alluding to this earlier on. I quoted it, you can do it right in front of me. You can take my hands, but I told you already that I'm going to kill you. All of you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. He says it again. But nothing is going to change that. Nothing. You are all already dead.
This is the part where I mean it's stupid leaders back and forth, like Rick's stupid plan of bombing a truck, whatever the f that is, and then you have Negan over here like, let me not kill the guy that is never going to back down. Like, just kill Rick. There's no reason to nothing's stopping you. There's clearly other people that are competent in this town that would probably be willing to help Negan out. It's like, why are you
Tobin, yeah.
He wants Rick to be the trophy, the broken trophy though.
But it's like I feel like he got that when Rick was balling out on his knees back 16 episodes ago. I don't know what Negan's gonna get any more out of Rick than that moment. Like,
I think remember he wanted that fighter Rick. Remember he kept asking to see that supposed fighter and he didn't get it.
When you watch that video, you saw Rick with a long beard. He goes, "That's the guy I wouldn't mess with."
That's the guy. I think he wanted it. Like he got this Rick. I think he wants to break this Rick, not that other Rick.
That's fine, I guess. But I can only chalk so much of Negan's character up to he has a big ego, so it's cool. Like, it's just you kill this guy. Negan is he's supposed to be ruthless and pragmatic. That is what I know about Negan.
But too long, Negan existing for too long, he becomes a comic book villain.
Which is what he is.
Which he is now. Exactly. That's basically what he is.
It feels more like the show twisting and contorting itself to make stretch out this character longer.
Oh, yeah, they love him.
Yeah, because in a real situation, they'd have to kill him.
They did sign Jeffrey Dean Morgan for all of next season.
Yeah. They don't want him to go.
No, they think he's the best thing for the show. They think he's awesome. And I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that they're going to stretch this character out as long as they possibly can.
Which is hard.
But at the same time, you also have to keep Rick alive because he's the lead character. So like the show just what if it killed Rick, guys? Like what a crazy change that would be.
Yeah,
it's brave. I'd give it.
But if he suddenly promoted Carl and Michonne as lead characters because Andrew Lincoln's not there anymore.
It'd be rough.
I think you do a time jump if they did that.
Yeah.
I think you do either 5-10 years down the road, and they could just kind of
like a reboot.
Yeah, just like yeah.
Like they grow Carl's grown up or something.
You can have the daughter, do a jump into the.
Yeah, it can't be done. Obviously, I mean, spoilers. Rick is alive in the comics. He's the lead character.
Well, I'm curious as to will the Negan character have the same arc of character development that we've seen in the comics, because Negan got to a very interesting point.
We can talk about that. I wanted to do a little comic corollary towards the end, so I definitely want to explore that a little bit.
One thing I did want to say that some of these scenes are directly like out of the comics,
right?
Especially in this fight scene here. I mean, it was kind of astonishing to me. It reminded me kind of like when the governor stormed the prison, and there were scenes in there that were like directly out of the comic, but in a totally different context. Here too, it was kind of astonished by that, and I thought it was pretty cool.
I'll say that prison scene is staged a lot better than the action in this episode.
Yes.
We're surprised to get involved in a tank.
Daryl blowing one up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, got a fuel truck. I don't know why they didn't bring that out, right?
I thought he was gonna. He climbed on a truck later. I thought he was gonna bust the truck through the gate or something.
I think Daryl might be onto something on the edit for this. The more I think about it, because like I said, it seemed very uneven. I think maybe they had a longer episode in mind and they had to cut it down. And they had more footage. And then Aaron's point about the the way the choreography, the action, the way the action shot. So you might be onto something there, man. They might have had a quick edit on this, or they didn't have time, or I don't know.
Maybe the deleted scenes would show us. Maybe if they decide to show it to us,
obviously.
So after Rick gave his response to Negan takes it in seriously. Like he looks like he's really getting mad, but then he starts to chuckle and he says, "Damn." He goes, "Damn, wow, Rick." He goes, "Okay." He stands up, takes off Carl's hat, and says, "You asked me to do it." He's about to swing Lucille, and then Shiva jumps in right behind him, the tiger, and mutilates one of the saviors.
Nope.
That distraction leads to Simon and Negan just basically retreating, and the Kingdom people on horseback, some of them charge in, firing at the saviors. This is where that kind of Kingdom music comes in. The Renaissance kind of. Yeah,
that got me hyped.
Alexandria shall not fall today.
That's what I wrote. That leads to the coolest shot of the episode where King Ezekiel proclaims, "End these saviors and their accomplices. Alexandria will not fall. Not on this day." It's great.
I know. Did he shot somebody? Did he stab him with a sword?
I will say this. As much as I have issues with a lot of the episode, there's nothing greater than the sense of euphoria you get from seeing something like that happen on the show.
It's like it's rewarding.
Yeah, it's very.
This is the moment. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, I was like, when that tiger jumps in and then everybody's storming and scrambling, I'm like, this is awesome. Like to me, that was like, I wouldn't say this is one of the greatest. I'm not going to re-rank my top 5 after this episode, but if we did top 5 moments, this is probably like top 1. This is my top moment for this whole show. It just hit all the buttons. It was just like, this is so perfect. And again, we get another Negan frantic reaction. Like I forget what he said. He said,
"He's a goddamn tiger." That's what he says.
And then starts scrambling, and it was just like it was perfect.
And then the imagery of you give me Carol with that gun just going through her thing.
Yes.
You give me Ezekiel giving out platitudes with his sword, and you give me Morgan doing his like
spear.
But his movements are just so specific, and then jam that thing in his face, and then move, and then pick up the gun, and then shoot it, and then stand back to back with Rick. I was hyped. I was completely hyped.
Then you see the end of Avengers, but like
Then you see the priest. Now it is just something with the imagery of seeing a priest holding a machine gun, rifle, and shooting that at the cars and stuff. Like it was just so many little moments of the characters we like, of the characters that we know, that just it worked. It was like it's the parts like in Star Wars when they win at the end. Like when the battle is going going to the good guys at the end.
When C-3PO and the Ewoks come out, they all start fighting. It's like, then Han Solo punches a dude in the face, and we're back in the movie.
So I really thought Carl was going to get it. Like I did too. I think part of it was bringing external stuff into the show. Like I know there's been a lot of talk of
Carl going to school or whatnot.
Yeah, Carl going to school, and he's been absent for several episodes that you wouldn't expect him to be absent. And I'm like, well, maybe this is it. They're just going to get rid of him here. And it was so, again, it would have been another rally. I mean, I knew obviously they were going to have to get out of it, but I thought maybe that would be the final, rally cry for Rick to just pour it on. But yeah, the way it was surprising, which again, I think, one of the things we talk about the show is sometimes things are telegraphed. So for me, I knew what was going to happen, but for it to happen at that exact moment, the way it did, it actually got me by surprise. And it was just a really great ending, start of the ending to the episode.
Yeah, I mean, the tiger jumped out of nowhere and started taking it.
Right.
That's inherently awesome. The rest of the episode, I still, the shots and everything were still all edited all over the place, but still, it was fun. Like, it has thing.
So after the king made his little proclamation, at the same time, you see the Hilltoppers have come in as well, led by Maggie, and she orders them to get in this phalanx and keep firing at the saviors.
Again, I got so excited. Like I love seeing her do.
She sent Eduardo and Bertie to do something. Like she was just ordering around. It was nice.
She knew their names, unlike somebody. She knew their names.
Like somebody we're not going to talk about right now. So Rick, of course, and maybe this happened pretty quick. You guys saw it. He just grabs an AK-47 that was laying on the ground and starts mowing down the retreating saviors as well. They just threw that in like a little cherry on top. Like here's some more of Rick mowing down people with an AK-47.
If they could replace it with lasers, I'd be all in. Lightsabers. Imagine it's like lightsabers and lasers. I'd be all in.
Negan's pissed. He's retreating, saying, "A goddamn tiger," like we just said. Then he notices Maggie and says, "The widow is alive.
The widow's alive.
Guns are blazing." He says,
"Guns." That made me legit laugh. That was the 1% that made me really laugh. With guns blazing.
Guns blazing. He actually said that, right?
He trolled himself.
Right.
Yes. He trolled himself.
What if he read the script and says, "Really, guys, I have to say this"? Like, what if who knows? It's pretty funny though.
He almost rooted against himself.
Guns are blazing.
This is some hot stuff.
So the battle continues. Morgan's there too. You guys said that as well. He kind of saves Rick, or he's near Rick, kills the savior with a spear. Rick sees it, tosses a little nod Morgan's way. Kind of back to back, like you said.
Back, man. Brothers in arms again.
He's back. Morgan's back. Jadis and
that little nod too between Rick and Morgan. They like look at each other, kind of give each other's nod, like yeah.
I miss that, man. I miss that friendship.
Going back to the beginning now.
Yes.
So go back.
Stuff.
So Jadis and the junkyard people set off a flare and then set off some homemade smoke bombs, signaling their people to escape, which they do. They kind of scale the walls and they got to dodge. So to
Someone's gonna kick her ass next week. I swear.
Jadis,
Yes, Michelle's gonna kick her ass. It's coming.
So they kind of regroup the king and the Hilltoppers, and they see everyone's retreating, and the king shouts, "Now we finish this!" And he chases the saviors clear out of town.
Now it got weird, and then it got messed up again. Like,
he also had to shoot the truck, like you were saying. The father
chasing the smoke, and then all of a sudden everybody disappears. Like I didn't understand.
These are not ninjas.
They're not ninjas. Like I don't care about that level of smoke. Does not keep you from seeing 30 people running away with guns and stuff. Like you just
there's too much gunfire going on for there not to be like more bodies lying around.
Exactly. Like there's a scene where Maggie runs around a car and then runs into
Daryl
the roof.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't enough smoke for that to happen.
Like you see Daryl at the end of the car, right?
Exactly.
That was kind of
a big battle scene where it's hard to define which person's on which side of the enemy, and like let's throw smoke in there so we can't see who is who. Here's
one question I have: how does Shiva know a savior from Alexandria and from a hilltop?
Don't
calm down over there.
All right. It's
not a simple podcast. You have to throw in random questions like how the tiger knows who.
Just wondering. I mean, I don't know, man. I just seem to go after the saviors only, so I don't know.
That was serious podcast here, Craig. Calm down.
Repeat to yourself, it's just a show.
Exactly. I can believe in zombies. I can believe in a tiger attacking the right people.
Exactly.
There was that little moment, by the way, where where Rick sees Morgan, like Rick, the guy's coming up behind Rick, Morgan stabs the guy in the face.
Right.
That's what happens. And Rick looks at him, he's like, "Yep," and Morgan like grabs the handgun, starts firing. It's like, all right, this is an Avengers. Like, that's cool. Like,
yeah, I think it was
Everybody got their moment, man.
But it needed to happen. Like, it's like, all right, finally Morgan's out of this pacifist phase. Like, he's back to killing. It needed to happen. It needed
They
to.
got tired, and then they were like, I don't know what to do after this.
So they're shooting at the trucks. They roll out of town, and Negan gives his one finger salute out the window. All right, he's middle finger. That was awesome. He just driving out of town with his finger out the window. Like, it's basically him and Simon. I think. I don't think any of the sabers really made
Yeah,
it.
that's Darth Vader in a little TIE fighter trying to get away.
I mean, maybe Eugene made it. I don't even see where he ended up. But I mean,
I don't know. I kept looking for Eugene. I don't know what happened to him.
But he did end up at the sanctuary afterwards. Like I said,
Yeah.
he got in that coffin so quick. What are you talking about?
You know what? I can see that. I can see himself in that.
The steel is the safest place to be. It'll reflect the bullets.
Depends on who opens the coffin.
That's what he shouts out now.
So Rick and Carl discover Michonne wasn't the one to fall out the window. They see it was the other creepy girl. But she is really messed up upstairs, bad in the house. I mean, she looks like Rick did after he got done with the governor. I mean, she's in bad shape. But it's a nice little scene between the three of them. You know, she starts to mutter like, "We are something," and Rick's like, "I know, baby, it's all right, we are." Yeah.
What I would have liked instead of having to do an hour-long fight scene of her fighting that one person, it would have been cool if they did not show her, and then someone tries to either kill Carl or Maggie or somebody, and then a gunshot comes through, and that's her up there shooting people. That's what I thought was going to happen. Like you thought she died, right? You assumed she died, but you knew it wasn't.
So she's bloody, but she still holds the gun, and then
all you hear is just a shot, and then person falls, and another shot, person falls, because they've been setting up her with this gun all season long.
She's getting better with it, right? She's trying to get
better and better with this gun. What better way to pay off that part, at least, by having her picking off people as it goes, like all through through that moment, and then you look back and you see a bloodied Michonne. I think that would have been better instead of them running around in circles with smoke. I mean, that was wasted. You could have did other things besides that.
So after the commercial, back at the sanctuary, Negan, Simon, Eugene, and Dwight are chatting. They're kind of in their industrial building there, the compound. They're on a ledge. Negan points the bat at Eugene, asking how Sasha died in the box. He's trying to piece this afternoon together in his head a little bit. And Eugene says that she ran out of air. Yeah, that's probably what happened. She ran out of air.
He says like the tarp, like judging by the use of the tarp over the coffin, like
he's doing equations in his head. Like,
and Negan walks over and just says, maybe. Like he half believes Eugene.
I gotta watch you next season.
Negan then steps outside to talk to the saviors, which looks like 100 of them on the ground, and screams, "We are going to war!" And they shout back, "Yes, sir!" in unison. Like it's literally his army. Now, I know there's different compounds and whatever, but the numbers of these people seem to be growing and not shrinking. Like I don't understand.
That's the problem with the show.
They just lost 20 people. Right. They lost another 30 at Rick's hands. Okay, it's like 50 people over this last few weeks in time. Yet there's 100 more at the sanctuary. When did they run out of people? I don't understand.
The only thing that's consistent to me is that Jesus can get around anywhere because he's constantly running all over the place. So like, I don't know how everyone's getting everywhere, when they're getting there, where they are, how many people there are. It's just
right. And these were the worker bees. These were like the warriors, like the actual seekers. They were not the workers.
I'm surprised they didn't have them yell "I am Negan" though at the end. I did. I thought that they were going to do "I am Negan, I am Negan."
That's a battle cry, huh?
Yeah, do that little battle cry that instead.
So back at Alexandria, we have a nice voiceover, and this is the one that you found really touching.
Oh, got it.
With Rick and Maggie chatting. You'll see this chat happening, you just kind of hear it, and we see different things happening, so I'll try to describe it the best I can. He asks if Sasha did that to herself, like if she somehow off herself to do what she did. Rick also said that Maggie made the right decision to come help. Maggie says, no. That decision was made long ago, long before we even knew each other. And during the voiceover, Maggie and Jesus actually find zombie Sasha and put her down, while Maggie kind of stands there, watches, and cries a little bit. Maggie then in the voiceover continues to tell the story of how Rick was in trouble, how he was trapped, and how Glenn was the one that put himself in danger to help him, and how they went from Atlanta to her daddy's farm to the prison to here at this very moment now, but not as strangers, as family. And then we see also, as she's talking, Sasha's funeral happening inside the walls. And Daryl, again, as this is all happening as Maggie's giving the speech, Daryl finds one of the wooden carvings that Dwight makes on the ground near the fence. And Dwight wrote the word on the back of it, didn't know. The phrase is, they didn't know. So Daryl kind of looks at that and stares at it very carefully.
Right.
But he got the message.
Didn't know what, though?
I guess
didn't know that they were going to ambush them with the
garbage people. Yeah,
he didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm still going to do the plan. The plan is still going to go. We're going to find a way to take them down.
Yep. So Maggie's voiceover continues, and he says that due to Glenn's decision to save you, meaning to Rick, this thing grew, and we sacrificed for each other. They flash back to that sunset again too, and she says to fight for each other. Glenn made the decision. I was just following his lead, and we end with a shot of Maggie holding the Herschel's watch in her hand, and that's.
And also, are we assuming that Ezekiel is like coming clean with his group? Like they know now what danger they're in. I was assuming that's what they were doing.
He just has usual bunch of soldiers. Though. I don't know if he told the whole town yet.
It looked like regular people too, though.
He had a larger group than normal as
far
as the exchanges go. But yeah, it's hard to tell.
It might have been bad. I mean, it might have not been clear in the direction of this episode, but I'm assuming that this is Ezekiel coming clean and saying this is where we're at.
Well, we know Carol was sent there to kind of get the town ready, so maybe she did get a few of them ready to go out and add to the numbers.
Well, I mean, we needed to have 6 Sasha flashbacks, so we didn't have time to see valley troops.
The thing about this part I really liked though was hearing her voiceover and like they were kind of subverted that trope of the big rallying speech at the end. I mean, they show Rick and Maggie like inspiring everyone, and the king like inspiring everyone, and, like giving this grand speech or whatever. But like you don't hear any of it. You only hear her voiceover. I thought that was a nice subversion of that kind of post battle trope, as it were.
It's more of a voiceover for us. Yeah, like us, the fans.
It brought you back to the first episode. It brought you back. It's been a journey. It's been a 7-year journey. All of us have been on. And I know you were saying at the beginning, Daryl, how it kind of touched an emotional chord with you, and I agree with it. It really did. It brought me back to wow, this show has gone from all the way there to all the way here. 7 years of my life has gone by. It's like it kind of brings you back a little bit. And
it's like catching up with an old friend. Yeah. And you just remember the times you had, like hanging out, even when we got in trouble, we got caught being in places we shouldn't have been, and like all that stuff. Like you just remembering all the connections that you had. Like it just was that. It just brought that moment. It just brought me to that moment with this show.
Yeah, and that brings it into season 7. So before we get to our Buster ratings, maybe a quick word from our sponsor. Russ, you haven't done it in a while. Could you please jump in and tell us about our wonderful sponsor?
You got this, Russ.
Oh man, on the fly.
On the fly. That's how we do it, man.
Russ is a podcasting professional. He's totally got this. I have 155% faith in him.
Our sponsor for this week's episode of the Walking Dead TV podcast is Discount Comic Book Service. Go to dcbservice.com or their sister site InStockTrades.com. Since we are at the end of season 7 for The Walking Dead, now is the perfect time for you to catch up on and get caught up on the comics. And you can go back to our previous episodes for All Out War parts 1 and 2, where you could read up and get up to date on the comic. InStock Trades has them super cheap. for all the volumes of the trade paperbacks. And if you like to read it in larger chunks, they have the hardcovers, the omnibuses, the compendiums. However you like to read The Walking Dead, you can find it over there. And as we record this episode in early April, the new solicitations on dcbservice.com aren't up yet, but by the time you listen to this, they should be posted for the new April solicitation. So definitely check that out, where you can save tons of money on your new comics, 35, 45, 50% off of new comics monthly. And typically the Marvel and DC trades and hardcovers are always 50% off if you pre-order them through DCB Service. The service is outstanding. The shipping is fabulous. If you curse every time you order a really cool hardcover or trade paperback from Amazon and it comes mangled or dinged up in the corners because you're like a book freak and a shelf freak like I am.
Like Russ is.
Yeah, the spine has to be pristine, no nicks in the corners. Then
none of that in the kingdom.
No, none of that. So you definitely need to order from either in-stock trades or DCB Service, because I mean they vacuum form your stuff in the box, so everything comes absolutely pristine. Really the discounts are better at in-stock trades than you can find even on Amazon. And if you order $50 worth, you'll get free shipping. So once again, we thank
not just comics. I mean, they have action figures, they have T-shirts, they have toys, they have statues, they have all kinds of great stuff. All your pop culture needs. We have the spring holidays coming up. You got your Easter, your Passover, and all that good stuff. You want to get some gifts for the geeky people in your life. It's a great place to go to do that as well.
And I want to shout out I got to shout it out for my buddy of mine. If you're a Star Trek fan, go and you can order Star Trek: The Next Generation Mirror Broken. It's up to issue 2 on the solicits, but you can always just email them and say that you want issue 1. And if it's in stock, they'll send it to you. Like, it's not, just because they change over doesn't mean you can't get issues. They work with you so well that if they have it in stock, you just email them that you want it, and they'll ship it along with everything else that you're ordering. So definitely check it out. It's by Scott Tipton, David Tipton, and the art is done by J.K. Woodward, who is working his behind off on this book.
That's a great series. I love it. I mean,
he's still a live art event the other night of him drawing one of the pages from that later issue.
Yeah, that was cool. I saw it too. Yeah.
All right, so Russ, thanks for taking us through the virtues of our sponsor, DCBService.com. They make it possible for us to bring you the Walking Dead TV podcast every single week that the show is on. And now it's time for our Buster ratings, then we'll get to your Buster rating. So, starting with Aaron.
I would go 3.5 Busters. I think this episode is sufficient. I think it has a lot of really good moments. There's, having someone like Ezekiel come in and Yo's battle cry, what have you, that's like a 5 Buster moment right there. But as a whole, I found the episode to be lacking as far as the season finale goes. It's a little better than last year, where it's like, hey, we're not going to show you this, so gotcha. But still, especially with kind of the wobbly editing and what have you, and the multiple flashbacks didn't really help. Just kind of slow things down for an episode that I thought was really going to move and have more excitement going on in an episode that requires that. I'm happy for character-driven episodes, but Sasha's not one where I need to devote half of a season finale to. So yeah, 3.5 Busters.
Richard.
Yeah, that was generous there, because I just think that it is a sufficient episode, that it passes what would be a decent episode of television middle of the season somewhere, not a season finale. And that edit job, I do agree, is the more we talked about it, the more it's like, man, they really missed something there. I don't know. I love those intense moments like Ezekiel and whatnot, but all in all, it just fell flat. Because I mean, I like Sasha to a point, but she to me was never an A-list character, and for us to devote 2.5, 3 episodes and then most of the finale to her and her being sent off the show, I just felt it just didn't do it for me. So I'm right down the middle with 3 Busters.
Wow. Daryl.
I will have to give this 4 out of 5. It had me in tears at the end. I know all the issues everyone is saying is real, it's true, I agree, but this episode just it pushed all the buttons that made me just smile and cheer and all that stuff and feel ready to watch the next season. It just had too many moments with Morgan and Carol and just everything, Ezekiel, and like, it just was just too Maggie, man, just Maggie. It's just too many moments that it just meant something to me. Like, it just made me remember it. It also made me think about how great friendships are and how when you do connect like that with your people and they do become family. I just loved it. Like, it just hit those chords with me. She sold it. I love you, Maggie. I love you.
That's awesome. Russ?
I'm with Daryl. I give this one a 4 as well. I think the bad didn't outweigh the good to me. I think if it wasn't really for the Sasha back and forth flashback pacing stuff, I think this would have been easily a 4.5, if not 4, maybe 4.75. But I mean, some of the editing stuff, I guess I was so caught up in the moment and just seeing the battle take place, I didn't really notice it so much. I think that's one of those things. Like, if I go back and watch it again, I think I'd be a little more critical of it. But yeah, the ending, like Daryl said, when Maggie kind of gives her speech, it just kind of had me, just feeling a little soft. What she was saying, and again to kind of refocus on Glenn and where she's at in her life and her journey on the show. I thought it was a great way to end the season. I appreciated the ending to this season way more than seasons in the past. I didn't feel like there was a real cliffhanger. I didn't feel like there's anything that's that upset me like when we got to the end of season 6. So yeah, I think that there's just a lot more that I focused on the good than I did on the bad.
Okay, Jim.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take it all, and then you have The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. Oh.
As we've been saying, it was a real mixed bag this episode. There were a lot of oh yeah moments, there were a lot of great moments, there were a lot of scratch my head moments, and then there were a lot of moments that were just kind of confusing and kind of missed opportunities. I think we pretty much covered it all, in our things. But this is a 4-buster out of 5 for me.
I'm gonna give this episode a pass. I'm gonna overlook some of the things because some of the things they did right outweighed a lot of things they did wrong. I'm gonna give it a 4.25, which I think is being a little generous, admittedly. But seeing some of the action at the end was definitely overdue.
That's not gonna get a pass. That's just straight up liking the episode, which is fair. You can do that.
No, because I'm overlooking some of the little areas. Because you're right, after discussing with you guys, it had a little bit more problems than I guess I initially thought. But I'm gonna stick with my initial gut feeling. I liked it. Again, it was solid. Seeing the action scene was well overdue. The bullets flying, the rifles, all the action in Alexandria. Seeing Negan as well balanced as he was too also was rewarding. The Sasha stuff, yes, was overdone, but I kind of like seeing Abraham again. So that's kind of the conceit. I loved having him back with us again, even though it was maybe a little overdone. I kind of like seeing him back again. I like seeing Morgan return to his ways again. That little nod with Rick, and Rick made a great speech at the end. The way he stood up to Negan was just perfect. Rick, as far as I'm concerned, he's just actually, you can do what you want. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna kill you. Kind of like he said to Gareth back at the terminus. Just making some promises that we know eventually he'll probably keep. So I did enjoy this episode. It put a smile on my face. I mean, the emotional part at the end with Maggie, it got me more on the second watch, I want to say. Like, at first it was like, all right, okay, I see what they're doing. It didn't really tug at my heartstrings. Maybe I was a little tired watching it, but then I watched it again today, and it did hit me a little bit more. It did make me think back a little bit. So 4.25 was the best season finale? No. Was this the best season? Probably not. We all can probably agree on that one. but it's nice to see we're set up for something good for season 8, and there is no gimmicky cliffhanger or who's dead, is someone hiding under a dumpster, is Michonne dead, we don't know, we didn't see if the girl killed her or not. Like, all the threads have been wrapped up, we're ready for war now. We're in a good place as far as the show is concerned.
We don't know what happened to Enid. We didn't see her at the end.
She was at the hilltop.
She was watching Judith, right?
Okay.
She was
Judith.
I was trying for some kind of cliffhanger. I don't know.
Well, Gregory's still out there. I mean, if anyone's still out there.
Yeah.
That's it. So, but who cares what we think? We have an amazing Facebook group, 825 members strong now, that you can leave your very own Buster ratings for The Walking Dead or Toby ratings for Fear the Walking Dead coming up very soon. Please go ahead and feel free to do that. Go to facebook.com, do a search for The Walking Dead TV podcast, hit join group. We get you in very quickly, and you get to hear your very own Buster ratings read by the soothing baritone sounds of Mr. Jim Dietz every week. So, Jim, for the last time for season 7, would you take us through our listeners' Buster ratings, please?
Sure, everybody's settle back. We had a lot of comments this week, of course, because it was the finale.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Rose starts.
I gotta get out of here. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, okay, Aaron.
Hey, take care. Good night. Hey, listen, we'll see you on Fear, my man.
Yep, good season.
I start talking and everybody leaves. See what happens?
I listen later. I do like hearing it. I like hearing what the listeners had to say. I really do. I gotta go. It's over 2 hours.
I know, it's a long one.
Sorry.
Take care, man.
If you join not only do you get to chime in on the Buster group for the Busters on each episode, but you also get direct links to all of Aaron's reviews of The Walking Dead that come out every week on theyoungfolks.com. So it's a great Facebook group. Go ahead and join it. Jeff Rose, 4.5 surprise tigers out of 5. This is like a second rate cross between a Lost, Flash, Sideways, and Tyrese's death episode. Are there supposed to be comments there, like after Lost?
I guess the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, because they had a lot of that too.
Really wanted Rick to waste Eugene when the bomb didn't go off. Didn't see that coming. Take the blue pill. Take it. Yes. Excellent, Tiger. Excellent. Now I'm rage quitting into the Badlands. Brian Arnold, 5 Busters out of 5. Tonight's episode was Walking Dead at its best. Brent Jones, 5 Alexandria has a back door out of 5. The first episode of the season. I can't wait to watch again. Nice to get that feeling again. Enjoyed Negan's one-liners and Maggie's dialogue at the end. Did you guys know Rick got shot? Because he sure didn't. Katie Levesque, 4.50 out of 5. Wacky trash people. Jadis is a Judas who wants to lay with Rick. Michonne's face. And look at that Tiger Baller. Yes. So happy to see Carol in the Kingdom and Maggie and the Hilltop Crusaders coming to save the day. Brutal fight with Michonne and the Blonde Psycho. We win, Trash Lady. Glad to see our group stand up to Negan. Looking forward to the more and more action next season. Love the podcast, guys. Keep up the good work. Why, thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
Susan Mug, 4 classic iPods out of 5. We knew Sasha would go when she volunteered as tribute over Rosita and was cast on Star Trek. The zombie Sasha droid first blood was awesome. But it's too bad they delayed the start of the war to end the season. Love the Abraham flashbacks. I have missed his goofy lines. The best part of the battle was Shiva, stage left. She'll finally eat a proper meal tonight. Hashtag Jerry lives. Christine Bowman, 4.9 goddamn Tigers out of 5. It had everything I wanted for the season finale. Morgan and Carol joining the fight. Awesome 80s synth soundtrack. Shiva, Abraham, Sasha's death was not in vain. One-liners from Negan that worked. Bizarre declarations from Ezekiel that worked. It only lost 0.1 points because Rick got shot in the hip and he's running and crouching with minimal limping. Really? I spent the entire episode shouting at the TV in both anger and triumph. Good job, Walking Dead. Janet Broom, 4.75 faces bitten off by Walker, Sasha, and Shiva out of 5. Again, to see Shiva attack the Saviors was awesome. Turning into a Walker was actually a pretty decent plan since Sasha had no weapon and had the element of surprise. The Garbage Mound Lady really is a crap negotiator. I really like the call back to Glenn saving Rick in the tank. Glad to see a lot of action in this one, and really excited for the war next season. Hey, you in the tank. Carl Hooker. Yeah, Brett, that's a good callback.
Hey, dumbass, right? That's what it was.
Yeah. Dumbass, you in the tank. Carl Hooker, 5. Carl is a badass out of 5. Did you see how quickly Carl took out the scavengers? Honestly,
yeah.
I thought it would be a Michonne one-eyed sniper shot that would nick Negan or something at the last second.
The only one?
Yeah, no doubt. Didn't see the tiger coming. Literally made me yell, yes, Shiva at the TV. Only thing that could have possibly made this episode better would have been to see Jerry wield that axe. All out war coming. Judging by crowd sizes, I'm going to say Negan is a larger inauguration. Army.
But speaking, he did have this huge battle axe. Jerry was like on his back.
Yeah.
He was carrying the flag, but he had this huge axe. And I don't know if you guys saw at the end where one of the
I see where he was running through the smoke carrying it.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, you're right. We didn't see actually like slicing anybody up with it, but at the end when the battle was over, someone tossed him an apple and he ate it. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was a little.
I missed that.
It's so funny. He's like, okay, battle's over. I'm gonna eat now. He took a little apple. It's great.
Susan Monk chimed in on that, saying Carl also has the best hair of the zombie apocalypse. Mike Jones, 4 sleeping pills out of 5. Love that Negan kept character even while in a gunfight for his life and his middle finger on the way out. The junkyard people turning was an odd but predictable turn. Poor execution on the Michonne death fake out, as I'm sure nobody bought her as an off-camera death. No. Negan would have been smart. Negan would not have been smart enough to think Sasha died from anything but lack of oxygen. Solid season ender, and thank you for no cliffhangers. Jeremy Brackens, 5 tiger bites to the face out of 5. This is my favorite season of Walking Dead. Adam Fatah, I will give it 4.5 out of 5 T-Dogs.
T-Dog.
Remember when he drove that bus for those kids?
Oh,
he was a hero.
And then he cooked that barbecue. It was the best barbecue we ever had.
Yeah, they got drunk at the CDC. They were talking stuff, man. Yeah,
they're going to do that about Sasha now that she's there.
Yeah, they're going to make up stuff.
4 to 5 Sashas? I don't know, man. Top T-Dog.
No, I mean, they're going to start telling stories about Sasha. Remember that time she made lemonade for those homeless kids?
Remember that time Sasha wasn't mad? And
She got really sick in the prison. She almost died. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Remember that?
Adam goes on. I really did enjoy the season finale. I honestly wish Eugene got blown to bits and junkyard people need to be dealt with in season 8 from here. Bar 4 or 5 out of 5. Negan middle finger salutes. Let the war begin. Johnny Stower, 4 out of. I called it. Garbage people would rat on Rick out of 5. Yeah, pretty good episode. I have to watch it again as my best friend, a 3-year-old, was yapping in my ear. But seriously, no one sees Shiva sneak up to attack anyone, and no one shoots her. Well, overall, I think this was a good year. Next year has to be better than Bonkers, or I think it will be Gibble's last year. Thanks for the podcast, and talk to you guys in a few months for the epic Fear the Walking Dead episodes.
They are epic.
I'm going to go to church before the episodes because Christ needs to help us with that show. Thank you, Johnny, very much. Your praise and your prayers.
Reaction of the week.
Yeah,
Mary Turkbecky, 4 smiley face pancakes out of 5. Not sure how I should feel about this episode, to be honest. The High Buster reflects one part of the show. That part is, of course, anything to do with the Kingdom. I'm content to watch them, the King, Carol, and Morgan, for any amount of time. As for Sasha, well, who didn't see that coming? Although I like the character, I felt more emotion for a relationship with Bob than with Abraham. Happy they gave her a good heroic send-off. Lastly, the battle light cheered for Shiva, of course, but the rest of the time, I was amazed at how few bodies were dead or dying. All in all, the season needed work, but I'm not done with it yet. Time Bono, 3.5 fake deaths out of 5. I thought I asked you not to fake any more deaths, Mr. Fictional. See, I called Glenanigans.
Yeah, that is Glenanigans right there with Michonne, right? Yeah.
Ugh, that was kind of meh for me. Only one death for our group, and it was one that we figured out long before. We ended up with 2 injuries that don't even look that bad. Not enough done to make me wanting more next season. I'm disappointed. Ian Roswell, 4.25. And for my next trick, I'll solve this coffin in half out of 5. Went down exactly as I thought it would, just minus the whole coffin thing. Only thing I did miss was Jerry moment. How great would it have been to see him shoot someone and then shout, "How do you like that, cobbler?" I would have enjoyed that. I would have paid double for that. Lisa Still Lockridge. All in all, for me, this is one of the better finales they've done. I give it a 4.5 out of 5 allergy pills. The only comparison I can think of is the mid-season finale for season 4 when they evacuated the prison. They tied up a lot of things, but we know there's so much more to come. I saw the betrayal by the scavengers coming. Rick trusted them way too soon and a bit in the ass. Jadis asking Michonne if she minded Jadis laying with Rick after the battle was creepy as hell, but the X Factor was worth getting to see the look on Rick's face when she asked. I love the over-the-top Shakespearean way that Ezekiel continues to play King Ezekiel. Alexandria shall not fall, not on this day! And Negan's, where did they get a tiger surprise? Mike Glicksman, 3 blue ball Carl death scenes, 1 major character death that you can see coming from a mile away, another stupid fake out of Rick losing a hand, not to mention Carl or Michonne, and yet another moving and inspirational speech from Maggie. The more I think about the episode, the more it annoys me. Matthew Brown, 4.5 Romulan double cross, about a 5. See?
They are Romulans, huh?
I told you, don't trust the Romulans, man.
This is the Romulans of the Walking Dead world, these junkyard people?
They are, man. They are.
Good episode with plenty of action. However, the first half or so was a bit slow and had too many flashbacks with Abraham. I also expected another major character death since there was no secrets of the actress that plays Sasha was heading off to the Trek universe and would most certainly be killed off. Opinder Sangha, 4, you know shit about it, out of 5. Why wasn't this episode 14? Really enjoyed the episode, but felt it would have fitted right in after 13. First 25 minutes was slow, and the last 35 minutes just ramped up. We got some much needed action. AMC, why, oh why, oh why? Adverts pay the way. I understand we could have made episode 15 and 16 about saviors and the groups ramping up for war or revenge mission toward the Heapsters. Fingers crossed, season 8, episode 1 starts well. Tom Severn, 4.5 Jack in the Box zombie surprises. Excellent first battle in the Word of Combat. A feeling that Sasha would take the poison in an attempt to damage the saviors. Love the execution. Michelle Yvette Peoples, 5 King Ezekiel channels, King Henry V's St. Crispin's Day speech out of 5. We few, we happy few. I enjoyed the hell out of this episode. Jadis' creepy proposition to Rick loved his face. I'm guessing Eugene has gone over to the dark side for now. Maggie was confident and commanding. I'm a bit more optimistic about season 8. I want to take a moment to thank you guys for the excellent podcast. I can't imagine the hard work that goes into it week after week after week. You put out an excellent fun show, and I just want to thank you for that. So thank you for all that you do. Well, thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle. We appreciate that. Yeah.
Richard Chopper Cherry Charrington, 4.75, worst garbage day ever out of 5. Really great episode with a great twist and see the garbage people stabbing Rick in the back. The last 20 minutes were intense and had me on the edge of my seat. Sasha has now been beamed off to ventures new as expected, and the CGI tiger looked brilliant. I'll stick with you guys through the summer for Fear. I just want to echo other comments. Thank you for all the hard work that goes into the podcast. Well, thanks, Richard.
Thanks, Richard. We appreciate that, and we will stick it out too throughout Fear. Most of us will anyway.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I like it. I'm going 4.5 awkward Romulan where wife swap propositions out of 5. Not sure that Sasha's hallucinogenic coffin scenes really worked. I felt like they were filling in time for a longer episode. Yeah. Although it was good to see Abraham again, though, and the ultimate payoff just about worked. The final battle was a fan pleaser, especially with the strategic tiger kills. But I could have watched a whole episode of that rather than the build-up. All in all, a strong second half of the season. I can't wait for season 8. I guess now we are going to war. Andrew Park, I'm surprised the tiger wasn't shot with all that random gunfire. Disappointed Carol wasn't owning the battlefield, and despite what Mr. Taylor said, she survived to fight another day. Yeah, Daryl.
I was saying it too. I mean, I thought she was alive. Yeah, I don't want her to die. But it just felt like she was going down that way for a while.
Carol doubters.
Hey, let me be wrong. I'd rather be wrong every time if Carol's not going to die. Yep. I'd rather be wrong. I don't want to lose her.
Double cross of Judas. I mean, Jadis was spoiled for me by Twitter trolls, but obviously telegraphed nonetheless. And Where the Blazes was Gregory. This season was patchier than the Scarecrow's underpants, but it made very enjoyable with your podcast. Thank you for the hard work, chaps. See you all soon for Fear. Oh, and 4. Surely there's a chiropractor Negan can see with all that leaning all over the shop he does.
He does that back lean. He's got that little lean he does. Right.
Let's see. Belinda Aka explains that Gregory left Hilltop to go to Negan's place. I give this 3 treacherous backstabbing garbage dump whores out of 5.
Nice.
Love seeing Abraham, but it went on too long. I was this close to stepping out of the fandom this year. I certainly hope they bring me back around. I'm so tired of the 6-month hiatus that has affected me. They have to work it out for them, and that includes the need to abandon their settlement and hide before the back crazy dumbnut comes out for revenge. Alan Rutledge, 3 sandblasted balls out of 5 for a predictable storyline and stormtrooper level shooting skills. Scott Homan, 4 Shivas out of 5, gain points for the surprise tiger attack. I love that scene. Loses points for all the Sasha Abraham stuff. It seems she is mourning her relationship with Abraham more than Maggie is mourning Glenn. And from what I can tell, Abraham and Sasha were together for all of a couple of days. And if you would like, I know it's the end of the season, but we will be taking a Fear the Walking Dead before long. If you'd like to comment on that, by all means, join the Facebook group. If you want to know when we're going to be doing our special hiatus episodes based on the comics and our speculation episodes and all that good stuff, stick with the Facebook group because we'll be updating it there so you will know.
Exactly. Well, Jim, thank you as always for the final time for season 7 for reading our listeners' Buster ratings.
I need a juice box now.
it was quite a few, but the show would not be the same without it, I think. And we really appreciate you doing that. And of course, the fans for writing in their thoughts. It makes the show interesting and interactive. And I think that's what it's all about. So, all right, guys, any final thoughts? We can take a few minutes if you want.
I think overall, it was the season was an uptick for me. Especially the second half. I think the second half of the season has been the strongest the show's been in quite a while. And I think that's good because I think there's been some concern about a little bit of a rating slip and if the show's peaked or not. But I think the way they're setting things up, I think maybe they learned their lesson a little bit too with the governor from a couple seasons ago, where he just kind of came and went a little too quick.
Right.
And I think somebody of Jeffrey D. Morgan's caliber is worth keeping around. And I think as long as they use him, kind of like they did this season, where he's not just so present every single episode, as much. Because while I love his delivery and I love the way he portrays that character, a full episode of that can just be a bit much. Like it's too much of that way he delivers and his speech pattern and just everything else. 40 minutes of that is just too much. So I think he can be a presence even when he's not on screen. We've seen the radio chatter and stuff in that one episode that was good. But I really hope that they that we just kind of get at least the first half of the season, with the war. I'm glad, Richard mentioned earlier about, thinking that it was, that this episode should have been just fighting, and, the war. But I would have been really disappointed if they would have started and ended the war in one episode, even an extended episode. And I want to see this play out through it. Like I said, at least half the season. If they could do it right, they could stretch into the season. But with all the different factions that they had to play, I mean, we have the Seaside people that, obviously they're going to come back to them at some point and do something there. So there's a lot of plates that they're spinning at this point that can make the show really, really interesting and keep up the action, keep what's going on. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to season 8. Yeah, I mean, I think in the comic world, we know that Negan doesn't exactly die immediately, right? And
I know the show's going to want to stretch him out anyway. So
I
I
don't
mean,
think he's going to die early either.
yeah, as much as we may want him to go, I think he's going to be around for quite a while. And
Me too.
I don't have a problem with that either. Maybe in a different form. Maybe he's in different position in the community. Maybe he's who knows what's going to happen. Maybe Rick and Michonne do remake the world in their image. But I mean, it's you're right. You said some really interesting things. You don't want to go to the well too often with him. He can come off very comic book-y, and I think even Aaron said in this episode, it's like he's coming off as that mustache twirling kind of villain sometimes. And I think they got the balance right though. It took him 17 episodes, but they got that balance right where he's kind of a human in private, but then he's crazy maniacal speech giving in public. He's not doing speeches to everybody. So they got the balance right. I think Jeffrey D. Morgan's got it right now. The writers kind of figured it out. I just want to see our group winning again. I think we've taken our licks enough already. I mean, the whole season pretty much. We've just been beaten down. I think the show really excels where our group survives in this world and conquers the threats around them. What's wrong with that? Like, why is that so bad anymore? Why can't Rick's group just keep winning a little bit? Why do they have to keep getting beaten down and losing people? And
that's what I really liked about this episode. It was a big one in the W column for him.
They just needed it. They've lost so much already. It's like, come on. I mean, you can have a few episodes where you lose a little bit, lose some territory, lose some belongings, lose some people, fine, but then come back. It's like, all right, we've been beaten. And the ratings are definitely reflecting that. When this group is losing, the ratings go down. So I don't know if they're going to correlate that. If they're smart, they will. They'll tell people, hey, all right, enough with the experimental stuff. Our group being losers. Let's have them win this war already and get back to business here because I think it needs to happen.
Right. And I wonder if the girl. I mean, I do think that the women that they left behind, who, when they took their guns. I guess now, because I thought that they would join, right away. I thought they would just leave. But now with what happened in this episode, I could see why they didn't do that yet, because I could see them joining them next season. Like, that'd be a thing.
Daryl, did you see that Piper was a part of the Oceanside people too?
Oh!
No.
That's show number 3.
Oh, man.
Daryl and I joked. So there's a character that was part of Oceanside. She's Agent Piper on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she's also a DEO agent.
Oh, that's right. I didn't notice that.
Right. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's her dude. She will be fighting. You know what? Now that you say that, she will be fighting with Rick in the group.
Yep.
I bet you.
She's the one called Beatrice, right? The one you're talking about, or no?
The one that she held. Remember that she's don't stab anybody. Remember they said she was saying to them, only the walkers we stab.
That was Beatrice. Yeah,
that's her. That's her.
So she's like actively on 3 shows.
3 shows, man.
And 2 of them pretty much plays the same thing.
And she plays
still playing the same person. I think she's still playing the same person.
Yeah. Daryl and I have a joke that like she's almost like from Marvel DC, like she's the Access character. She goes to sleep in one universe and wakes up in the other.
Nice. I think we just added one. She's in this universe too. But I do think now, and I want that to happen. Like I do want that group to join. Like I do want to see how that would work in that dynamic, and I do want to see some more new characters on here too. Like I do, and I know it's an ensemble, so it's hard to give everybody depth. But I do hope they look at what happened with Sasha, and kind of figure out a better way to give characters some depth earlier on, as opposed to when they die, a week or like the episode before they die. Don't, because it always comes off fake when they do that. Like, do something with them first. If you're planning on killing these guys, do something with them first. Give them some time and personality, and then when you do kill them off down the road, it just doesn't feel so so fake.
One of our listeners, I think it was last week, even wrote, if the show is going to be about groups fighting other groups, that's fine, but that's not what the show originally was. Like, it was about this group surviving in this post-apocalyptic world where zombies were the real threat.
Yep.
I wonder if they can go back to that a little bit. Like, I'm hoping that, because they've almost neutralized the threat of these zombies. They're nothing to
they're nothing anymore.
I understand the group people that have survived up to this point have to be ultimate warriors in this world. Like, they are the survival of the fittest, right? They're the ones that can. But I don't even feel scared when they come up anymore. It used to be like, oh my god, 2 of them are chasing Rick, and Rick's beating them down with a rocket. That was like intense. Now it's like, all right, Rick's got these 2. It ain't no thing. It's like I hope they can just go back to a little bit of instead of this group versus group drama too. Make it more. The world they're in is still very dangerous.
I don't know, because the book is like this now. I mean, so I don't think I think
so they already passed this already. It's all about group versus group. That's it.
It's about the group now than it is about the zombies.
The walkers need to be as dangerous as they need to be for story purposes. Like sometimes you go across, a character will come across one and struggle with killing it, and then other times it's effortless. And it seems to be. And this is the comic and the show. It seems to be no rhyme or reason why sometimes they just mow through a dozen, and one is allowed. 1 or 2 of them can sneak up and overrun. A couple. The 1 or 2 of them or the whole group. It's totally plot driven. It's, well, if they need this person to die from being eaten by a walker, then they'll just make it so it happens. Or if they need to stumble or trip or whatever. So they're just like a plot device at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with the show is. It just feels like they've forgotten where they came from a little bit. And I don't think it's okay not to look backwards, but I don't know. I just want to see some good old-fashioned Walking Dead action once in a while. And the experimental stuff is fun, but make it a good mix of both. Make it a healthy mix.
Yeah, depending where they go, and I won't spoil this at all because this is further past where we're at with the show. But depending on how close they follow the comics, probably not in season 8, but maybe in season 9 or even season 10 if it goes that far. There's some really interesting things they can do with the walkers as relates to how they interact with the humans. That could be really interesting. So I think right now they're just in a phase where it's just more important for them to just kind of focus on these communities and
establishing them.
Yeah, and the evil they're facing more so than surviving the walkers. Because we kind of had that. I guess it was last season when they had the big stampede or the herd.
Yeah, the million Walker March or something.
Yeah, so they kind of did that. Now they're focusing on the walkers aren't the threat right now. It's Negan and his group, and now the crazy trash people. So I think and that's something that's a little bit different than what happened in the comic as well. So it'll be interesting to see how these groups fight not just the saviors but the crazy trash people and how that comes together. So there's some interesting stuff that can take place.
Okay. Any other final thoughts before we wrap up the season of The Walking Dead?
I think they're in a good place now, and if they could just keep the momentum going, I think next season could be their strongest one yet. If they keep that, like with the writing that they did on these last half of the season, if they can keep that up and get away from the same tropes they keep falling into, the silly tropes of again the we're going to let you know that a character's going to die by all of a sudden giving them lines, and whatnot out of nowhere and little stuff like that. Like if they can get away from that, and just keep the strength of the writing up. I think it can get even better. I think it can get even better.
And I'm hoping that Daryl was neutered for most of the season. So I'm really hoping that next season, people are responding really positively to Jeffrey Dean Morgan and his Negan character. I think that's been a shot in the arm for the show. I think Rick acting as the true leader. I think some of these other characters coming around, the fact that they're acting like a group, and like I said, I think with Daryl being back on board and more prevalent in the show next season, I think it's going to be a good boost for the show.
Yeah, we're gonna get that Dwight thing. We're really gonna get that Daryl Dwight.
Yeah, they'll wrap that up. Absolutely, we'll see what happens with that and where it goes. No, it's interesting. It's in a good place, like you said. And I'm optimistic about the future. Season 8's going to be pretty impressive. If season 7 is any indication, I just hope they fix some of the little errors. And it seems like Gimple likes to sprinkle in the action. I'll call it the fan service. I mean, the action is too simple. The fan service. He sprinkles it in so sparingly. It's like he just gives you just enough. But it's like, you know what? What's wrong with a little more? Like, what's wrong with just a little bigger bite of that? Like, why is that so bad? Your show is to be so different, so experimental, so playing with timelines, all this kind of stuff, and dedicating these episodes to the smaller crew, like the smaller characters. Like, come on, just give us a little bit more of what we want. Why is it so bad?
I think that's what Fear is suffering from, because it doesn't give us any of that.
It gives us nothing. They try deliberately to not be The Walking Dead and what it stands for, and because of that, you've seen it fail pretty much from the beginning. And they try all different. And really, what that show has worked is the few episodes where it kind of resembles The Walking Dead, where they take on a mission, they conquer something, they go, they win something. They're survivors in the world. They're warriors to a certain extent. But where it fails is this kind of contrived, kind of character stuff that they do. So I don't know. That's my only wish list. If I had one for producers that are listening to the show, that's it. Just give us a little bit more what we want. A little bit more. A little bit more. We can kill you. A little bit. Well, again, we appreciate you all listening, sticking with us through the season. Russ, thanks for joining us for the final episode of the season.
Yeah. Like I said, I had some family stuff going on, so I couldn't be on the last couple weeks. But yeah, things should be. I know Aaron and I are going to headline, and some of the other guys will jump on too. We were going to try and squeak it in before the back half of season 7 started, but we didn't get around to it. So we've got a little bit of time on the hiatus here. So I think we're going to try and squeak in that Telltale episode.
Right.
So we can talk about the Telltale game. So season 1, season 2, season 3, and then the Michonne. The Michonne game as well. So yeah, that'll be fun. So I'll try and remember to put the thread on the Facebook group. So if anybody has any comments or thoughts on the Telltale series, they can put those there, and we can, like I said, we'll read those on the show. Or if you have questions or comments and stuff like that, you can put them out there, and then we'll discuss. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, because that's something we've been wanting to do. We tried during the hiatus and always do something a little off the beaten path.
Yeah, just keep going. Yep.
Yeah, whether it's the comics or
news that may happen, something like that. Or,
yeah, and Jordan and I used to do like the Breaking Bad episodes where we talk about Breaking Bad and Mad Men. And so maybe after Fear goes on hiatus before we get season 8, maybe we'll pick that back up and talk about Better Call Saul and
Better Call Negan.
Better Call the Badlands.
Better Call the Badlands. There you go.
I'm a fan of End of the Badlands.
Oh, that's a good show.
Yeah. So maybe we can do that, and then Better Call Saul. So we'll think of a clever name for that. So yeah, just something to kind of. There was something that we'll save for another new show. But AMC put out something recently where they're going to start offering a commercial-free option. But there's some controversy with that. So I think that'll be an interesting talking point. Maybe if we have a news episode.
Sure. That should be pretty interesting. So we appreciate everyone listening and sticking with us through the season. It's been fun. We're going to take a little bit of a break as the show does, but our listeners can still listen to us do our other podcasts. And of course, like I said, we'll return for Fear the Walking Dead coming up probably in the next, I guess, few weeks or actually a couple of months. I think we're going to do Better Call Saul, and then I'll go pretty much into Fear the Walking Dead. So we'll take a little break, but we miss you guys, and we'll try to catch up with you a little bit along the way. But where can they find us when we're not talking The Walking Dead? Let's see, Aaron, Richard, gone. Daryl, how about you?
You can go to the Taylor Network of podcast, and you can check out a bunch of different podcasts on the network that I'm very proud of. Like Nothing's On, I do with Jim, and that's a TV and movie one. We really get into stuff too, like we do here. You can also check out, we have a Star Trek one, we have a Star Wars podcast, we have a D&D podcast.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stuff, a lot of content that I think people will dig if they give it a shot. So you can just go over there or just follow me on Twitter, and you see a lot of stuff posted on The Voice 123.
Excellent. Thank you. Russ?
Just stay tuned to hhwlod.com. It's all connected. We had a little bit of a hiatus with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so we'll be picking that back up as it's come back. And we're trying to figure out how we're going to talk about Iron Fist, because that's going to be challenging.
Oh, yeah.
But
I can sum it up for you. Ready? Colleen Wing was awesome.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, with Guardians Volume 2 coming out, and Spider-Man coming out, and the Inhumans, there's a lot of stuff coming up. So yeah, stay tuned to that.
That's great. Thanks. Jim?
You can catch me on the Taylor Network podcast, on Nothing's On, and on the aforementioned D&D podcast, Paradigm Shift, which also is being broadcast on Twitch TV now every other Saturday at Reverse Normals, all in lowercase, all one word. We just broadcast our second episode on Twitch night before last, and it was a lot of fun. Over on HHWLD side, there's the DC TV podcast, which I host, co-host with Daryl and Jerry and Rich, and we cover all the DC shows from the CW. That includes The Flash, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow, and Arrow, plus the DC shows on Fox, which would be Gotham and Lucifer. So if you watch any of those shows, if you're fans of While Walking Dead's in hiatus, then come check us out. We're in high gear right now. Some of the shows are coming back, some are going out on their season finale, so there's a lot going on over there. And you can follow me on the Twitters at Yoda Jones.
Excellent. And Jim, we'll expect to see you back for Fear the Walking Dead, right?
We'll see.
So, folks, your Toby ratings may be read by somebody else, but maybe Jim will catch it. Once the show gets good, maybe Jim will jump back on, right? Let's see what happens. But no, Jim, thanks again for all you do, seriously. And
We'll have Ezekiel give a little pep talk to Jim.
You are not stuck.
Let's stay in the battle.
But I'm still stuck in the second season. You are not. You are not stuck.
Get out. That's it. They're back in America. Okay, I'm spoiling it for you. They're back. That's it. Anyway, so if you want to hear my other podcast, it's the Auto Chat Show. AutoChatShow.com, Facebook.com/Auto Chat Show. Me and my co-host Teddy review new cars, discuss cars and pop culture, whatever else comes into our brains. We have various guests on the show from time to time to make it interesting and talk about the world of cars and anything automotive. We keep it fun. We keep it light, even if you're not a car or gearhead, motorhead, whatever you want to call yourself. It is actually very consumable for the average person. Just check us out. We have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and just discuss everything that is around that automotive culture that's out there. So check us out. We're actually going to do the New York Auto Show coming up in a couple weeks. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll have some special interviews for that. Getting our spring new car review schedule locked down. So stay tuned for that. And just a lot of other fun stuff. So it's a continuing project, but I love doing it. And so is my co-host Teddy. And as I love doing the show, it's going to miss you guys for the next several weeks, but we'll be back. So just keep it going, and we'll take it from there. Who wants to close us out tonight?
There's no more room in hell in the Dead Walk the Earth. Remember, you think you know about shit, but you don't know about shit.
That'll be easy to edit. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
Jim, stop fighting it. You just do it.
Bleep it.
All right, guys, take care.
Things are moving fast. Hold on tight and do my best. Keep your self-respect, your manly pride. your stride. Never mind your peace. Brighter days will soon be here.